This is lesson 4, the physics department. We model the perimeter. We have a reasonable facsimile of the perimeter of this building. There's a few more windows we need to put in over here. But for now, let's, and there are several that were modeled as curtain walls or exterior curtain walls. There are also some, let's talk a little bit about the interior partitions, some of which are also a glass curtain wall. So among them is the wall to this room. So I'm going to continue. That curtain wall is still selected. I'm going to draw from here to there. Now I'm not refining the curtain wall yet. I'm just identifying areas where they appear. All right? You can normally identify them by the plan drawing has a glazing cut through it. I don't know what the transom, what the height situation is with that, but that can be adjusted afterwards. So I'm going around the model to identify places where there are clearly a full height curtain, as opposed to a door with a side light glass transom. Now the rest of these walls are generally opaque. Let's get a thickness on the typical partition. It looks like 6.5 inches there, 6 1/8 for some reason, 6 1/8. Oh, there's one more curtain wall. Have we missed any? Okay, let's use a generic wall, simple generic 6-inch wall, and we're going to ignore that extra 1/8 of an inch because some of them might not be that. So we're going to draw with that level 5 to level 6. Location line, we're going to do finish face exterior clockwise. I'm going to go around. That error means there are two walls in the same place. You can ignore those. We may need to provide for that afterwards. I'm going right past doors because doors are hosted by simple walls, and those openings will be created when we fill them with doors. I've drawn a little bit past here. Stop there. Maybe we'll deal with that thickness separately, but for all intents and purposes, if I simply draw there's another wall in the same place, we can just go right around these elements, and that's going to enclose all that geometry. Right? This assumes some knowledge of drawing in Revit. let's see, what do we do here? Draw a path all the way to there. We really don't need these rooms, but let's just segment off that area. Looks like there's a partition in here for some reason. Notice some of these walls are different thicknesses, but that's going to serve as a proxy. I need to adjust that. That's out of alignment. There's a classroom here that has something of a double wall. So that's going to... There's a sort of fake wall in there. I'm not concerned about the surfaces just yet, but we do want the perimeters that a user will experience when navigating the corridor. Alright, remember, curtain wall then ended here, so I'm drawing past all the way till we meet that element. We need a wall from here to that column. We need a wall that demises that space. Insert conflicts because I hit the window somehow. That'll do for that. These rooms, when you're drawing interior walls, finish face, interior, exterior, you have a 50-50 chance of getting the inside wrong. So let's just draw through all this. Around, let's draw to there, we'll see what we need to. So these are the opaque partitions that we see. There's a wall that goes to here and continues to there. There must be a wall that separates that room, so I'll draw in this direction. Highlighted walls overlap. It's probably duct work in there. The important thing is that we segregate. We're not going to know what happens right inside there, so I'm going to ignore that. insert conflicts with the window. How do we resolve that? We take this wall, drag it back, move it downwards, nudge it downwards a little bit. Right? So it's a little imprecise, but we're going to have to live with that. Remember, I'm using a 6-inch wall for walls that seem to vary from between 4 7/8 to 6 1/8 or 6 1/2 or whatever. For purposes of modeling the space, that's going to be sufficient. Let's quickly look at our 3D and see what we have going on. So you see how the curtain walls to the classrooms become this expansive glass, which later can get divided up into panels, mullions, etc. But for the most part, we're starting to get a fairly effective layout. We haven't bothered in this area. We have to still divide up the central area, which are basically bathroom services. Who cares? Let's go back to the plan. The wall that divides those two rooms. Most of the walls, assuming that you've visited the space, most of the doors are, because it must be an accessible building, doors are going to be 36 inches wide. They're likely to be 7 feet tall, so 36 by 84 inches for the most part. Let's just parcel out might as well be precise about the shape of that common space. Right? And we'll put doors that lead to them. That double wall is usually see a wall like this when you have back-to-back plumbing and you need sanitary stacks to be buried in there. What do I mean by that? Usually there's a good foot or two, in this case 1.5 feet, right? Hollow wall means there's pipes that go through that. We're not going to bother with that right now. Okay, so we might as well finish the partitions. Wall turns the corner. See how I'm drawing? I'm just sort of continuing through intersections. And this wall now, that because I made turns, I can just drag the ends, right? Because they're likely to be built that way. Architectural wall. It's a very strange oblique condition here because we have two angles with respect to the elevators. Some are parallel with the elevators, but the outer wall is quite clearly a different angle. So what appears at first might be a mistake is actually something that is a level of complexity we didn't anticipate in the building, but we We're not panicking. We're proceeding through as we start placing doors. We will see how the space starts to functionally make sense. The 3D view again. Doors in curtain walls are a different animal. Basic walls in Revit host a door element, so when you place a door, by default, it creates an opening for the door as well. It's different with a curtain wall system. Floor plan. So all we're going to do here is, now that we've modeled most of the walls, we'll try to draw the doors. So door, single flush, 36 by 84, that will do. Let's place them. I'm not going to concern myself with a door swing or whether that's correct. Normally you place these and then you go in afterwards and fix all that. The door's a little too close to the wall. That's okay. See what I'm doing? These are double doors that swing in reverse way, so we'll have to deal with that differently. But we could model them as single doors. There appears to be a door that communicates these two rooms. Really, when you think about it, these are the rooms we care about for purposes of Walter's project. Access to the stairwell, access to that space, to these two spaces, to that room, to this room, to that room, a little too close. Let's go ahead and do these. We haven't dealt with the elevators yet. That's a slightly different problem. Let's find a double door. Or load one if we don't have one. Insert. Load family. Doors. Door, double glass. Door opening is just a case opening. We'll use those in the elevators. Double acting are those with, no, that's not the one we want. Alright, let's see. We want the type to be 6 feet wide by 7. Architecture door. Double glass, 72 by 84. So these may not be glass doors, but for now we will treat them that way. These are alternating hand swing, but for now that'll have to do. Is there any place else that we need double doors? I don't think so. door, the single one, 36 by 84. We're missing one here. Now let's refine our doors. This one's swinging the wrong way. Reverse it. Reverse the, not the swing, the hand. That one looks okay, but it's too close to the wall. We'll move it up a little bit. This one, left hand, right hand. Same deal. And move that a little bit. Oh, we're missing a couple doors to these utility closets. Door. Architecture door. There is apparently a wide swing door. We'll deal with that separately. There's a door that looks like it rotates about 180. It's some custom hinge condition. We'll worry about that afterwards. It's approximate. Let's save this as lesson 4. And just quickly view it in 3D, and then we'll talk about continuing it afterwards. So let's go to our 3D view. Bloody thing. Open. Right, so all those doors are opaque. There are glass doors. We don't have doors in the current wall because that's a different condition that we'll have to deal with. But for the most part, our third floor is largely in place. And I'm going to post this as lesson 4.